في speech الصور البلاغية، وهنا hyperbole المبالغة the use of exaggeration as a rhetorical device. Shall I compare thee to a summer day? Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds، وهنا تكرار حروف العلة. So long live this and this gives life to thee. What is rhyme؟ وهنا نتكلم عن الوزن is the repetition of accented vowel and sounds and all sounds following them in words that are close together in a poem. وهو تكرار حروف العلة وهذه الأصوات التي تتبعه في كلمات وقريبة من بعضها البعض. The pattern of rhymed lines in a poem is called its rhyme scheme. To indicate rhyme scheme, give each new in rhyme a new letter of the alphabet. واحنا بنعطي لكل سطر طبعا حرف جديد. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day؟ شوف نهاية الكلمة day. You though are more lovely and more temperate. كنت تنتهي temperate. شوف السطر الثاني rough winds do shake the darling pins of bay. And summer's lease has all too short a day. إذا السطر الأول شفت الردم بتاعه A B، الثاني والثالث هيكون تكرار A B. شوف نهاية الكلمات day و may temperate و date. إذا نسق A B. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Though you are more lovely and more temperate, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaf has all too short today. What makes a sonnet؟ طبعا عندنا في محاضرة كاملة عن السونيتا على القناة، ممكن ترجع لها، وأنواع السونيتا مشروحها كامل. There are strict rules guiding what can be classified as a certain type of a sonnet and what cannot. Shakespeare sonnets fall under a group of English sonnets also known as Shakespearean sonnet. This group of sonnets must have rhyme schemes. لازم تكون نفس الوزن، عند خطة الوزن A B C D E F G. Different types of sonnet include Italian sonnet, Petrarch sonnet. Dante sonnets mostly fall under this category. And we have Occitan sonnet, Shakespearean sonnet, Ordo sonnet, and modern sonnet. Shakespearean sonnet طبعا دائما تستخدم 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. Each quatrain has 4 lines. 4 multiplied by 3, 12 lines, and a couplet 2 lines. So we have 14 lines. A rhyming couplet, often a dramatic statement that resolves or restates or redefines the central conflict of the poem. دائما الكابلت تحتوي على الإجابة أو تحتوي على الفكرة الأساسية والصراع الأساسي اللي في القصيدة موجود. الرايم سكيم زي ما حكينا خطة الوزن A B C D E F وفي النهاية آخر سطرين G. لازم نطلع على نهاية كل سطر شعري على حسب هذه خطة الوزن رايم سكيم A B C D E F G. What is this poem about? Shall I compare thee to a summer day is a poem about Shakespeare for the personal affection for a friend. In the poem, Shakespeare compares a friend's beauty to the beauty of a summer day. يقارن جمالها بجمال الصيف البريطاني. The poem has 2 tones or mood into it. The first is light-hearted and airy, and Shakespeare compares his lover to a summer day, where the other is almost frustrated, ironic, where Shakespeare is stating that his lover is too much more than summer day, and their beauty lasts forever, whereas summer's day is temporary and sometimes perfect. هو يقول بأن لو أنا قارنتك في الصيف، حتى لو أن الصيف البريطاني جميل، ولكن جمالك يتجاوز الصيف، لأن الصيف مؤقت وأن الصيف مدته قصيرة، ولكن جمالك وحبي لك أبدي. Context سياق. It was written by William Shakespeare in 1608 بداية القرن السابع عشر. Of course, he was born in 1564, died 1616. He had other works, Romeo and Juliet, all the world's stage. Macbeth, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, was Sonnet 18 كان رقمها 18 out of a set of 154 sonnet من 154 سونيتا. إذا هذه كانت رقم 18. ممكن احنا كمان نحضر محاضرات ويليام شكسبير نتعرف على أعماله الشعرية والمسرحية على القناة. Language techniques, he used metaphor, extended metaphor, الاستعارة, personification التجسيد, والوزن الرايم. Sometimes to hot in the eyes of heaven shine. The eyes of heaven is a metaphor of the sun. This is also talking about how the sun can be hot sometimes, however, he is always perfect. Personification, now shall death brand new worker hit his shade. The light is giving this human quality. It is a metaphor how he looks beautiful and will never age or show size or wear. By using the word shade, it gives the impression that the death is looming over us as a strong and mighty force. Rhyme, shall I compare thee to a summer day? You are more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds to shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves has all too short a day. These lines follow the sonnet's rhyme scheme of AP, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Links to a wider world, the sonnet relates to the idea that love is binding, and when you love someone, to see them as perfection and are blind of all of their imperfections. This is a common theme that appears in numerous texts. علاقتها في فكرة الحب، بأن الحب عندما يحب الإنسان هو لا يرى العيوب، ولكن هو يرى كل شيء جميل في محبوبته. وهذه هي فكرة عامة والتي تظهر في الأفلام وفي النصوص. خلينا نشوف محاضرة قصيرة عن Shall I Compare Thee عن هذه القصيدة.
Hi guys, we're going to do the poem Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by William Shakespeare. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is the structure of this poem. Okay, we know that this is a sonnet and all sonnets have the same structure, and this is how you will be able to identify when a poem is a sonnet or not. So sonnets all have 14 lines. The poem is 14 lines long, and these 14 lines can be divided into 3 quatrains. So quatrain means a group of 4 lines, okay? And it also has a rhyming couplet. So the 3 quatrains and the rhyming couplets all add up to 14 lines. Okay, the rhyme scheme of the sonnet is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and it ends with a rhyming couplet, which is G, G. Each line also makes use of an iambic pentameter, which means that it has an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. And pentameter means 5 of these groups of stressed and unstressed syllables in each line. So in every line, there are 5 unstressed and 5 stressed syllables. And this gives the sonnet a pleasant conversational rhythm. So guys, if you can see these characteristics in the poem, it's likely to be a sonnet. Then all sonnets also have the same theme, and in this case, it is love. That's why when you read the book Romeo and Juliet and Romeo often speak to each other in sonnets, because the purpose of a sonnet is to carry the theme of love, passion, and pleasure. Okay, so in this poem, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, we see certain imagery carried throughout the poem. We see images of nature. Obviously, you can tell by looking at the title that the poet is going to describe a summer's day. Okay, it's going to be a comparison to a summer's day. So we also see a day in the summer. Then we have certain figurative language. Okay, the whole poem in this case is an extended metaphor. The poet compares the beauty of his lover to the beauty of a summer's day. So this whole poem is a metaphor comparing the beauty of his lover to the beauty of a summer's day. All right, so if we look at the original version of the poem, let's have a look. It reads as follows. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease has all too short a day. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dim, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou hourest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and gives life to thee. So that was the original version of the poem. So I have translated it into a modern version so that you can get a better understanding of what Shakespeare is trying to say in this poem. So let's look, line 1. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? He is asking himself, should I compare you to a summer's day? The second line, thou art more lovely and more temperate. Shakespeare says, you are more lovelier and more mild than a summer's day. Then line number 3, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. So in May, rough winds shake the delicate flower buds. The next line, and summer's leaf has all too short a date. In the modern version, it is, and the duration of summer is always too short. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines. Sometimes the sun, the eye of heaven, is too hot. And often his gold complexion dim, and the sun's golden face is often dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime decline, and beauty falls away from beautiful people, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed, stripped by chance or nature's changing course. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, but your eternal summer will not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou hourest, nor will you lose possession of the beauty that you own. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, nor will death be able to boast that you wander in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, when you live in eternal lines set apart from time. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, as long as men breathe or have eyes to see, so long lives this and gives life to thee. As long as this sonnet lives, it will give life to you. Okay, so I've made some notes here on the side, so let's quickly just have a look at it. They basically summarize what has been said. So summer has its disadvantages. They mention it here in the poem. Shakespeare mentions that the winds are too rough. Okay, so rough winds shake the flower buds. Okay, so the winds are too rough. And here it also says that clouds can block the sun. So here it says, sometimes the sun, the eye of heaven, is too hot, and his golden face is often dimmed. So when they speak of the sun's face, they're speaking of the round sun that we see when we look up in the sky. And sometimes that golden face is blocked, it's dimmed by clouds. Okay, so it can be cloudy in summer. And then we also see that it says that summer is too short, okay, and that it is too hot. So here it is too hot, and summer is too short. Those are the disadvantages of the summer's day. That's why this comparison is not a good one, because summer has its disadvantages. Then it says, people's beauty does not last. They get old and wrinkly as time passes. Okay, so it says here, and beauty falls away from beautiful people, and it is stripped by chance or nature's changing course. As time goes on, we get older and we get more wrinkly. Okay, your beauty will not fade and you won't die. You will live forever because your memory will live in this poem and people will read it for generations to come. So Shakespeare says that his lover's beauty will not come to an end. It will not die because the beauty is captured in his words in this poem. So for as long as people are reading this poem, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, they will constantly be reminded of how beautiful Shakespeare's beloved is. So that's why he says that his lover's beauty is immortal, it will not die, because it is captured in this poem. Okay, so let's quickly just summarize the lines 1 to 4. Here the poet praises his beloved, who is more lovely than a summer's day. Even early summer is marked by strong winds, which can ruin the buds. Lines 5 to 8, the poet says that summer can be too hot or too cloudy, and that beauty will fade as nature changes, people grow old. Lines 9 to 12 says that the poet says that his lover will not change, but actually become an eternal summer after being earlier compared to changeable summer. The lover will not lose her beauty and will not die. Lines 13 to 14. In the couplet, the poet says that as long as people live, his poetry will live on and ensure the immortality and life of his lover. Okay, the summary of the poem. In the sonnet, the speaker compares his beloved to a summer's day, giving different reasons why the beloved is more beautiful than the summer's day. He says that the comparison between his lover and a summer's day is poor because his lover is far superior to a summer's day. His lover is even better than a summer's day. The comparison does not live up to standard because she or he is far more beautiful. Okay, and it also says here that the beauty is preserved for all time. The beauty will not die. It will always be remembered because it is protected by the poem, which time cannot erase. So as long as people are studying this poem, the people will be reminded of how beautiful Shakespeare's subject was. A summer's day is inferior because A, it is too windy, B, it is too short, C, it is too cloudy, and D, it is too hot. These are the reasons why a summer's day is not a good comparison. It doesn't meet the standard of his lover's beauty. Let's see if we can answer the following questions to prepare us for exams and tests. Number 1, Shakespeare says his lover will live on forever in his eternal lines. What does this mean? A, people will read about her in his poems. B, his lover will die and go to heaven. C, his lover will fall out of line. Or D, people will know his lover because of their beauty. The answer is A, people will read about her in his poems. Number 2, what does rough winds shake the darling buds of May mean? A, strong winds destroy spring flowers. B, strong winds cannot touch the flowers. Or C, strong winds don't stand a chance against his luck. The answer is A, strong winds destroy spring flowers. Number 3, Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 compares a person to A, spring day, B, a summer's day, C, nature, or D, his heartbeat. Obviously, it is summer's day, which is B. Number 4, which of the following is not criteria for a sonnet? A, having 14 lines. B, specific sound devices. C, specific rhyme scheme. Or D, specific rhythm. The answer is B, specific sound devices. Question 5, what is the metaphor in Sonnet 18? A, comparing Shakespeare to his beloved. B, comparing his beloved to a summer's day. Or C, comparing Shakespeare to a summer's day. Or even D, comparing his beloved to time. The answer is B, B, comparing his beloved to a summer's day. Question 6. What poetic device is used in the following line of Sonnet 18? Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. The hint is that death is bragging. We know that death is not a person, so therefore it's giving an inanimate object human qualities. So it's allowing death to brag, which is a human quality. So it is B, personification. Question 7. In Sonnet 18, the eye of heaven refers to A, a friend's eye, B, sky, C, sun, or D, moon. It is C, the sun. Question 8. What proof does the speaker offer for his assertion in line 18 that his friend's eternal summer shall not fade? A, the lover will live in heaven. B, the speaker's love will prevent the lover from dying. C, the sonnet will immortalize the lover. Or D, death will not brag after the speaker's lover dies. The answer is C, the sonnet will immortalize the lover. Question 9, the last one. The couplet in a Shakespearean sonnet is meant to A, explain the main theme and summarize the sonnet. B, extend the poem's metaphor. C, provide a twist or conflict. Or D, leave the reader with a lasting image. The answer is A, to explain the main theme and summarize this sonnet. Guys, I hope this has helped you. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or if you need any help.
إذا عجبتكم هذه المحاضرة تنسوش اللايك والاشتراك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.